Good afternoon, guys and girls. Same place as yesterday, but completely different weather. Still a bit windy, but not a cloud in the sky. Very nice. Camber Sands. My friends are still fast asleep, so I left them a note. I'll make my way to where I'm going, and then they can meet me there, which is what we normally do anyway, because they like to lay in when they're on holiday. And when I say lay in, I do mean lay in. I'm talking 1-2 o'clock kind of time. But yeah, let's give you a quick pan round. And our port of call is the Mary Stamford Lifeboat house, which is just there in the middle there. I may go a little bit further today depending on how we feel and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a quick one, guys and girls. And shall see you all soon. These are the wetlands and the lakes and everything. It's lovely. A bit windy, but I don't mind that when I'm cycling because it keeps you cool. Right, see you all soon. Afternoon, everyone. Whew, Jesus, am I unfit. Whew. I'm about halfway to the Mary Stamford Lifeboat house now, but this is Camber Castle. Where these people are walking is a walk that you do all through the forest and everything in the countryside to this little ruined castle. Castle was built by Henry VIII to defend against the French. It's a lovely little castle. It's only open generally to the public on a Saturday. It used to be a Sunday, it's a Saturday now. So yeah. Oops, sorry, that's the wind. Yeah, this is the zoom in on the phone, because we're zoomed in on 10 times magnification now. Yeah, I've come all the way from over there. See me back in. See if I can find it. No. Can you see it from here? Oh, there we are, yeah. The red hut there in the middle. I've come all the way from there, well, all the way from over there actually, where the caravan park is, but all the way along there, all the way along the sea path, with Camber Sands on the opposite side. The red hut. And what I was trying to explain yesterday, but you couldn't hear a thing that I was saying because of the wind, is the red hut, a little bit on the morbid side, but literally directly opposite that into the nature reserve is where my ashes are going to be scattered when I die, which won't be too soon, hopefully, yet. Slowly zooming you round to my port of call. Looking over to France. That's Fairlight over there. And that is the Mary Stamford Lifeboat house. That's my port of call for today, so I shall end this one and carry you back on. See you there. I'd forgotten about this. Another little interesting curio on the way to the Mary Stamford Lifeboat house is the Gassons ruin. All that remains of this building, photographed in the 1930s, is the concrete wall of the front. In front of you. Sorry, my eyes are streaming because it's windy. It belonged to the Gasson family, and the surviving remnants are known as Gasson's ruin. The path that runs inland behind you is called the Shrimper's Path. It was created in the early 20th century and led from Rye to the beach until large gravel pits blocked the route. That's the Gassons family. This is Gasson's ruin, what we can see here. The one nice thing here, unlike London, is you don't have to worry if you leave your bike at the bench there. I think, well, I'll just walk over here. In London that bike would be gone. A bag of ghosted famine, you get me? Yeah, here is Gasson's ruin, all the remains of it. Stamford lifeboat house is there. And this is the Shrimper's Path. But this also leads you to the beautiful and delectable ruined Camber Castle, which we'll probably be doing at some point in the week, because a friend's given me a bunch of keys that may unlock the padlock, so you may get a private inside tour. If not, then you just get a nice walk, because I'll do highlights of it through fields where there's cattle and everything, for a little forest, to a ruined castle where we'll have our lunch. Zoom you into number 10. I think this does zoom in more than that. There we are. That's Camber Castle, ladies and gents. So yeah, I'd forgotten about the Gassons ruin. So there we are. It's a nice day, very windy, but you can see Winchelsea and Rye. Winchelsea's over that way, and Rye town is over that way on the brow of that hill through there. More salt lakes. Well, ain't that just real fine and pretty? Right. Now, unless we forget anything else that I want to capture on the way there, you will see me at the Mary Stamford Lifeboat House. Take care all, and see you soon. Yesterday, where I was inside the bird hide, we're looking at that bird hide now. It's just from the opposite angle. I was sheltering in there yesterday. It was freezing, raining and windy. Today it's windy. I said earlier in my first part of the video, there's not a cloud in the sky. There's obviously clouds around, but you know what I mean, just a euphemism. Take care all, see you soon. Afternoon again, ladies and gents, and we are here, Mary Stamford Lifeboat House. Very sad story attached to this one, I'm afraid. The Mary Stamford tragedy. Basically, it's all on the way, as you can see there, but basically on early Thursday the 15th of November 1928, this was the old lifeboat house, and the men of the lifeboat crew, there was a ship in trouble out at sea, and they was called, or a distress signal was sent, and these men, they'd already been and done one rescue a few hours before, and their lifeboat hut was all the way over there, and they had to run all the way here, launch the lifeboat, and it was really, really shockingly bad weather at the time. And sadly, what happened was the ship had then either been rescued by someone else or sorted itself out and sent a signal that everything was okay. Sadly, these men were all out at sea in their lifeboat and caught in a terrific storm. At midday, where has it got? The skilled lifeboat, I was saying so. Minutes later, they heard the Alice's. They heard that's the ship's name was the Alice. They heard the Alice's crew were safe. At midday, the Mary Stamford was seen floating upside down. The full horror unfolded as the bodies of a courageous crew began to be washed ashore. Not one single life could be saved. And here's the names of the men: Herbert Head, Joseph Dunham, Henry Cutting, Albert Cutting, Walter Eggleston, Charles Sutherland, James Head, John Head, Charles Pope, Alex Pope, Robert Pope, Roberts Cutting, Morris Downey, Arthur Downey, Leslie Clark, William Clark, and Albert Smith. And as you see by the same surnames, most of them were brothers. There was one that was a father and two sons, wiped out a whole family, and their grave is in the Rye Harbour Church. So this video that you're seeing has been done in stages and merged together, but this Mary Stamford Lifeboat House part will be the first part of that, and the second part will be where we visit the church and the churchyard and their grave. So, I'll just pause you a minute because I think I'm going to check. There we are, I rode straight past it. The former lifeboat house was built in 1882 and is named after the Mary Stamford lifeboat. I always end up calling it Lifeboat and have to correct myself, I don't know why. On the 15th of November 1928, the Mary Stamford was lost with all 17 crew. This is the largest loss of life from a single lifeboat in the history of the RNLI. The lifeboat house was never used by a lifeboat again. They abandoned this lifeboat house after that. At 5 AM, the Mary Stamford was called to assist Latvian steamer, the Alice of Riga. The crew ran from Rye Harbour, which is near where the Red Hut is, or possibly, I think the Red Hut was used for lifeboat crews, if I remember rightly. So they ran from there, Rye Harbour, to the lifeboat house and launched the boat. That's a distance of about 6 miles they ran. So they did that, then had to launch their boat at 6:45 AM in a fierce southwesterly gale. Just as they were leaving, news came that the Alice's crew had already been rescued. A signal was fired to recall the Mary Stamford, but nobody saw it in the driving rain and rushed to get away. 3.5 hours later, a boy collecting driftwood on Camber sands saw the Mary Stamford capsize. Every man on board was drowned. The tight-knit fishing community of Rye Harbour village was devastated. At the churchyard in Rye Harbour, you can see a memorial to the men who served on the Mary Stamford. And this photo shows an early 20th century crew at the lifeboat house doors. They were wearing life jackets, which were a major advance in safety at the time. Let's look at their faces. So, yeah, these younger lads in this picture would have been the ones lost in 1928. The Mary Stamford was an RNLI lifeboat supplied in 1916. The previous lifeboat pictured here was the John William Dudley. Both boats were only powered by sails or oars. Aerial photograph was taken in 1933, 5 years after the disaster. RNLI lifeboat house opened in Rye Harbour in 1966. Oh, this is the current lifeboat house, this one. The watch cottages lie 500 metres inland on a high shingle ridge. They were originally built as Coast Guard station, where officers could keep an eye on shipping in Rye Bay. When we looked over at Camber Sands, that's those little cottages right high up. Kettle netting. One of the benches near the lifeboat house is dedicated to Jim Sutton, a local fisherman. The Sutton family fished this shore for many generations using floating nets and kettle nets. Kettle netting was a traditional fishing technique along this coast. Long poles were set into the sea floor at low tide and nets were strung between them to form a trap. At the next low tide, the fish were removed from the net. Look for a hagstone. Some of the names for the stone with a pole and archer stone, which was lucky. Oh, I've got one of these, a hagstone, yeah. I've got one indoors. To be honest with you, I didn't know that it was called a hagstone, but I just call it the stone because my one looks like it's got a face. The boat was pulled from the shore using a capstan behind the lifeboat house. The ropes ran right through the building, which originally had doors at both ends. This photo, taken in the 1940s, shows the powerful effect of the shingle movement. Today the wooden sea defences are failing and the lifeboat house foundations are sometimes exposed. Only the base of the Second World War pillbox remains and has been tipped on its side. Yeah. And these are some of the birds that you see. And little bits and pieces. Common whelk eggs. I thought that was a plant once and picked them up. Not a pleasant experience. Right. So this is the Mary Stamford lifeboat house there. So we will go around there. I'm going to pause you a minute. I'll give you another view of the landscape because it's very nice. Fair light. And off we go. It drizzled a few minutes ago, so we're okay now. I wonder if you can see those cottages. Oh yes, you can. That's excellent. Right. Just where that windmill is, that turbine, and those cottages, those were the watch cottages for the old lifeboat thing. So I shall pause you a minute and take you over to the lifeboat house. There we are. I've chained up my bike. It's on a big piece of fence. The fence does move, but if anyone wants to take the bike, they will have to take a very large piece of fence with them, and I will hear them. And then I'll carry them up and twine them into the sea. Mary Stamford Lifeboat House. So these are the front doors, of course, obviously. There is a private memorial card on there, but it's from family members, so I shan't show that. Many people, and this is known as Lover's Wall, many people come and write their initials and names in a love heart. Hope it's an old tradition here, hoping that the souls of the sailors will bless them, which is quite nice. And a lot of people write the names of loved ones on it, because don't forget, a lot of people who've been cremated have their ashes scattered in places like this that they like. There we are. I shall turn this round slowly. This is the side of the lifeboat house, and these are the doors that it said about on the side. So the ropes would have come out, and the lifeboat would have launched straight into the sea and been winched in and out kind of thing. And last year when I was here, there was a big high shingle wall here, and this shingle changes very, very rapidly. So it literally changes every time you come here, the landscape, which is something I quite like. You will have to excuse the wind. Wind from Windhole. Well, I hope it's not coming out of anyone's wind hole anyway. I shouldn't like to be breathing that in at all. For me, that is one of the most relaxing sounds on God's green earth. It really is. Chop. Fairlight, because there was a lighthouse there, and also in the days of French invasions and such like, there was a warning beacon up there. The beacons were very, very rudimentary, but sophisticated in another way, that in an age before mass technology, they could get a message of invasion from Kent to London in 15 minutes, which was very, very good for the time. Warning beacons were all across the country on promontories, and where there wasn't a warning beacon or a promontory for a warning beacon and they needed a warning, you would have men with horns or ringing church bells backwards. That's how a lot of the messages got inland and were passed on that way. In the olden days, when people heard the church bells ringing backwards, they knew that something very bad was happening. But the warning beacons were a main thing in that. And the French, interestingly enough, which we will see more of when I go to Rye town, which will be tomorrow I should think, they invaded and sacked the town of Rye in 1428 or 29, and most of the buildings in Rye had to be rebuilt. The townspeople escaped to the church, which, like most Norman and medieval churches, was built to the glory of God and also built to be defended, which is why a lot of church towers have crenellations on them and very awkward to get to, narrow entrances that could be easily defended. And then you would defend from up there with arrows, rocks, boiling tar and oil, sand. Boiling sand was another good one. If you lived by the sea, you could boil up sand, get it scalding hot, pour it over the edge, and it would unfortunately pour into the chinks of everyone's armour and give them a very nasty time indeed. Now those two ladies have gone. Let's see me back out, sorry about that. Here we are, the Mary Stamford Lifeboat House. This building, as I say, and as the sign said, has been abandoned since 1928. They viewed it, it's another old Kent custom that when a crew was lost, and a Sussex custom as well, when a crew was lost, if there could be another way to get another lifeboat house put in place quickly, they would, and they would abandon the old one, because a lot of the sailors and boatmen, don't forget, in those days they were very, very superstitious people, and they believed that maybe it was cursed, and they did not want the same thing happening again. So, ladies and gents, I am now at the Mary Stamford lifeboat house. I got a text from my friends earlier when we paused the phone and carried back on. In the middle of that pausing, which is just a beat of an ITU, I had a group of cyclists ask if I could take their photograph. They're doing a cycle thing, which you get a lot of along here, sponsored cycles and just groups of friends really. They'd come to see the Mary Stamford lifeboat house as well and find out about that, so I took their photograph. Got a text from got a message from my friends, and anyone that's seen The Madness of King George, which all three of us have, when King George wakes up and there's no one there, no servants, he gets very angry and goes, "Where are you, sirs? Why is it the king is left here and unattended?" And my mates have adapted that. So, "Where are you, sir? Why have you left us here and unattended?" My reply was, "Because you don't fucking wake up till God knows what time in the afternoon." Said with mirth and lovingness, of course, but yeah, they don't. They've only just woken up. It's like, Jesus Christ, I'm up with the larks. But the funny thing is, with my work in London, I don't have to get up early. With their work, where they are, they have to get up early. So when we come on holiday, they don't get up till late. And when I come on holiday, I get up early. So it's kind of all, it's a vice versa and switching roles. And besides, I like to get up early. No phone, no filming, just a nice quiet walk along the river. You can smell the kippers being smoked and see fishing boats coming. Got a nice picture of a fishing boat this morning. Anyway, yeah, my friends will be here in about half an hour, apparently. They're coming on the bikes. I don't think any of us are going to be able to cycle to Fairlight in this wind, because it's killed me, near killed me getting here. And I'm not very healthy. Simon's a lot healthier than us, but Rob, who's got asthma and smokes, isn't healthy. So yeah, so this may be our port of call for today. May chain the bikes up here because it's pretty safe here. And I actually left my bike unchained here once for 45 minutes when I went for a walk on the sand, and I came back and the bike was still there. So yeah, you're pretty safe. Anyways, what are we? 15 minutes, yeah. Right, well, I'll end you with that one, guys and girls. We've seen pretty much everything about the Mary Stamford lifeboat house. Doors are well sealed shut. I should end you on that. And that's a God rest in peace to every single one of these brave men. And we'll be seeing their grave, which will be the next part of this video. This video that you're seeing now has been merged together with the whole walk or cycle from Rye Harbour to Mary Stamford lifeboat house. So it's good with this editing and merging. It's handy. I don't have to film separate things. Alright, take care everyone. See you all soon. Thanks for watching. And to continue with our little charming countryside scenery, some sheep. Or as one of my northern ancestors would have said, "Aye, they do bide them bonny lambs for shelting." There we are. And we are at, zoom it back out, this is where Rye Harbour Nature Reserve starts. Welcome to Rye Harbour Nature Reserve, one of the country's biggest and most biodiverse coastal wetland reserves. I'll let you read the rest, because I have to focus on the phone, then try and read, and it's cold and my eyes are watering. Just pause to read. A water vole. Oh, I've seen these before. You only see these of an evening time and when it's turning dusk, and you're being very, very quiet. That's all the routes you can go. Yeah. Pretty idyllic that, isn't it? Right. That's alright. There we are. Okie dokie. Right, take care all. And I may see you again, I may not. You never know. You never ever know. Oh, what a charming scene. Some healthy young horses Enjoying calisthenics in the God-given sunlight. No harm in that at all. Oh, it looks nice. This is lovely, isn't it? For those of us who are not used to seeing horses and sheep wandering around, it's quite nice. For those of you in the country that are used to seeing this every day, obviously you'll think, what the hell is he filming this for? This is something of a novelty to a city dweller, so there we are. Lovely horses. Well, ain't they just real fine and pretty? Oh, someone coming to tend to the horses, so I shall stop filming. Take care all, see you soon. Greetings, my little puppet dolls. Hope you're all okay. We are at Winchelsea Beach. Yeah, it's alright, mate, it's alright. Does not wish to be filmed. Shy guy. Gosh, it's turned cold and it just rained quite heavily, but we got windproof umbrellas, so we're pretty lucky. But this is the looking out onto Winchelsea or Winchelsea, depending on what part of the country you're from. It's all a question of dialect and natural secretions. Oh gosh, how horrid. Oh, a dead eel. Ooh, seagulls have had that one, haven't they? They've skinned that. Either that or a fisherman's used it for bait. Yeah. This is Winchelsea Beach. This is as far as we're going today because it is windy and none of us are very fit. Even Simon, it's knocked him out as well. So we had to get off and walk part of the way because the wind was so strong we literally couldn't cycle against it. But going back, we'll go like spitting out fat because the wind will be blowing against our backs. And here we have the beautiful Fairlight over there. Fairlight. The tide's in at the moment anyway, so there wouldn't be much we could see. But when the tide is out, it's a natural sandy beach with great big boulders and rocks on it. It's very nice. You can see it pretty well from here actually. I'm quite pleased with that. I should have brought my tripod out with me, but there we are. Let's go up to the 20 times magnification. There we go. And that's pretty good. But yeah, the sea path that we've come along, that takes you all the way, this path here, all the way along up to Fairlight, which is quite a journey. We did that in 2010, which is 12 years ago now, and we're much younger and much fitter. And it wasn't as windy. But yeah, there's plenty of us for us to do anyway. Yeah, this is as far as we're going to get today. We've got a nice lunch with us, so we're going to have lunch and then make a slow way back, which is all the way back over to where you can see where the river joins the sea, or the sea joins the river. That's where we've got to get back to. But it's been a nice day so far. That's the Mary Stamford lifeboat house that we're looking at, which we've already seen. Anyway, guys and girls, I'm going to get back to my hot chocolate and my lunch because it's cold. It's dry, so we've got off pretty lightly. The umbrellas came in handy and they're windproof. It blows over quick by the coast, however, luckily enough. Anyway, take care. See you all later.